What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Green Bay Packers Report. And although the NFL trade deadline was kind of a dud for Packers fans, as Green Bay did absolutely nothing, coming up on today's show, they might not be done. I'm going to give you 5 free agent targets that if I were Brian Gutekunst, I'd get their agents on the phone and at least see what they could do to help Green Bay through the rest of this season. If you guys want to see what you can do to help me, though, for the rest of this video and for the rest of this channel's history, subscribe. Because we are battling Bears Now, our Bears channel, right here at Chat Sports. And they're up 6 subscribers on us. This is like the closest we've been to them in a month. And they've got like 120,000 more subs than we do. So I need you guys' help. Help us take down Goliath. We're David, and I need your help to subscribe. So do it right now. When it comes to the NFL trade deadline this past Tuesday, I'm not going to lie to you. There's not really any shock on my part from the fact that Green Bay didn't trade anybody or trade for anybody. We all knew that Brian Gutekunst made that massive move in the offseason, getting Micah Parsons, and that kind of felt like it. Like that, scratched that itch that he had, and that's going to be good until next offseason. Maybe he's going to make another trade. But that doesn't mean they weren't interested in players. Easton Butler gave us a ton of scoop that day and continues to give us a ton of scoop up until now. We know that they called on Devon Achane. They did it weeks leading up to the trade deadline. They did it on the day of. We also know, not this one, Gage, we also know that they were interested in Michael Mayer from the Las Vegas Raiders. We know that they called on him because Tucker Kraft went down with injury and they knew they needed a tight end as well. Look, we know that they needed some people, and I don't think that need has gone away, okay? I think that is very much still in play for the Green Bay Packers. So with that, let's talk about the first free agent target that I got them possibly looking at, and it's a name we've already talked about a lot this week. There's going to be no surprises here. Number one on this list is going to be Asante Samuel Jr., the cornerback out of, most recently, with the Los Angeles Chargers. He got cleared to practice earlier this week, and then, of course, it came out that he's been going on a ton of visits, kind of going on a countrywide tour, if you will, for him. It'll be a busy week. Ian Rapoport reporting he will be with the Panthers on Wednesday. Obviously, he's with the Packers on Thursday. Friday, spent with the Vikings. He's going to go Monday, the 49ers, Bears, Tuesday, Steelers, Wednesday. He's going to be all over the place. But if I'm going to talk to Green Bay about this, I would go about this cautiously. Because I think Asante Samuel Jr. still got some good football left into him, but he does come with a couple of concerns. My first thing I would tell you to be careful about is don't get into a bidding war for him. Don't get into like an unbelievably ridiculous bidding war. That is a lot of teams. And a lot of teams that still feel like they are competing for playoff spots that might just be one piece away. And if they feel like that one piece is Asante Samuel Jr., they're going to drive up the price for him. And I don't want you going out of your way and paying a ton of money for him. Okay? Like, I think he could be a good player, but is he worth a ridiculous price? I don't think so. Also be careful because you got to make sure he's ready to play football. He had spinal fusion surgery in April. That's 7 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. Now, he has been cleared to play, so we know it must not be that big of a risk. But again, with that surgery 7 months ago, we know he's not in football shape. And so what you're going to do on your visit, and what they did do on their visit on Thursday, was they got him in there. Tried to see if he was ready to play. And if they feel like he is, and if they feel like they're incredibly interested, then he's still a guy that they should target. Another cornerback, Stephon Gilmore, okay? Can you tell I believe that cornerback is the Green Bay Packers' biggest weakness? I've believed it since what? March or April, since the draft came and went, and you did nothing really to address cornerback room but drafting Micah Robinson, who is no longer on this team. Call me crazy, but I would love Stephon Gilmore. I get it. He's older. He's been in this league a very, very long time. He's probably lost a step athletically, but I don't think that he's done playing good football in this league. Okay, I've said this 1,000 times about Stephon Gilmore, but what he lacks athletically, he makes up for in his knowledge of the game and just how he plays his position. Last year, he had a great year in Minnesota. 56 tackles, a tackle for loss, 9 pass breakups. The year prior to that, when he was in Dallas in 2023, and I get it, we all have fond memories of being Packers fans in Dallas in 2023, but he had a wonderful year. 68 tackles, 13 PBUs, 2 interceptions as well. And when you look into the coverage grades and stats and things like that from 2025, wasn't bad either, especially for a guy his age. 63.9 overall grade, 60.4 coverage grade, only allowed 55 receptions. That's 14th best for cornerbacks across the league last year. 5 touchdowns he led up, 1 interception. Like, guys, he's not going to be the Stephon Gilmore that won Defensive Player of the Year back in, what was that, Gage, like 2017? That's 8 years ago. He's not that guy. I'm not telling you he's going to be that guy, but I do think he'd be a good depth piece for a position that desperately needs it. Which corner would you rather sign, Asante Samuel Jr. or Stephon Gilmore? You let me know in the comment section down below. Give me an ASJ or an SG. Weigh in with your answer. Next up is tight end, okay? How about Jordan Akins? Free agent tight end, still on the market right now, and I do think you might need to add at tight end. Maybe wait until Monday's game against Philadelphia is over and you can kind of see how Luke Musgrave does. But losing Tucker Kraft is a massive, massive loss for this team. I will say the silver lining in that is he was never a guy that would win a ton of one-on-one matchups. He would just be schemed into space, and then from there he'd be dominant with the ball in his hands. And so maybe you'd shift that focus to a guy like CB Williams, start scheming him more into space. But regardless, I digress. If you feel like you need tight end help, Jordan Akins could be there to help you. He played 17 games last season, caught for almost 400 yards. Played 17 games the year before that, 132, and he's doing that as being the tight end 2 right behind David Njoku. In 2022, caught for almost 500 for the Houston Texans. I'm not saying he's going to come in here and beat Tucker Kraft, but I am saying if you don't have a ton of confidence in Luke Musgrave or John Fitzpatrick, he could be a guy that could be a pretty decent option and help you a little bit in that position group that we know is so important for this game and for Matt LaFleur. Don't go anywhere. Okay, we got a lot more to talk about. But before that, I got to tell you about our awesome sponsor of today's show at Underdog. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Here's my Underdog lineup for Monday night's game against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Jordan Love's going to have a nice bounce-back game coming from that Carolina Panthers game where, let's just face it, the offense was horrible. Give me the higher on 1.5 passing touchdowns for him. Give me the lower on Saquon Barkley, 77.5 rushing yards. And give me the higher on Luke Musgrave, 2.5 receptions in the absence of Tucker Kraft. Download the app today. Sign up with promo code Packers Report. Score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Underdog. Make picks and money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia. And present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play. Get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-OPEN-Y or text OPEN-Y to 467-369. How about getting a little bit of help on the interior of the defensive line with Linval Joseph, a guy who was playing pretty good football just a year ago when he was with the Dallas Cowboys. Played in 17 games, obviously as a rotation-type player, 19 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 0 pass breakups. But with everything that's gone on in the interior of your defensive line, starting with getting rid of Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons, which I don't regret at all, but then the health issues that Devontae Wyatt's had, the health issues that Colby Wooden has had. Like, it's been rare to have everybody in the interior of that defensive line be 100% healthy, and I only think that's going to regress as we go on with this season. I do believe you need some help at D-tackle. Think about what Rico Dowdle was able to do against you with that Panthers running game. And the Panthers offensive line is not very good. Now, Rico Dowdle's good, and he's had a good season, but that's an offensive line you should be blowing off their blocks every single play. It wasn't good going into this year, and they had 3 new players on Sunday. And they ran all of them. Now, Linval Joseph, he's not going to be more than a depth piece, but I think that would serve this team pretty well. And then a free agent, you want the Packers to add down below in the comment section. I'm giving you 4 names. I got 1 more to go, but let me know what you think down below. Our 5th and final name we're going to talk about is Shaq Mason, guard, most formerly playing with the Houston Texans. And I know what you're going to say, Joey. Shaq Mason is not a good player. He was not a good player last year. And to that, I'd say, yeah, you're probably right. 931 snaps for the Texans. Overall grade of 62.3. Not terrible. Pass block grade of 65.2. Not terrible. Run block was not great. 57.7. 8 sacks allowed. That was the biggest detriment to his game last year. But when it comes to that, my counter argument would maybe be all of Houston's offensive line in 2024 was atrocious. It was horrible. And so maybe you put him in a spot where he's right next to a guy like Zach Tom. Maybe he's a little bit better of a football player. I don't know the answer to that question. All I know is that Jordan Morgan and Sean Ryan haven't necessarily been good football players either. Shaq Mason wouldn't cost you that much. See if you get a little bit of competition there. Although of these 5, I think he's easily the least likely to be signed by Green Bay. Pick one to add. Give me an ASJ, SG, JA, LJ, or SM in the comment section down below. Weigh in and give me your answer. If you're looking for how to keep the most up to date on Green Bay, my answer to that would be follow me on Twitter at Joey Petersen. I'm also on Instagram, same handle, at Joey Petersen. And we're also right here on the Green Bay Packers Report every single day. Shout out to producer Gage, always putting up with all the hard work we're doing. It's all for you guys. If you love daily updates, if you love free content, you found it right here. The Packers Report, next thing you got to do, subscribe.